Hi, Movie Recaps here. Today, I will show you a crime, drama, thriller film from 2020 titled Run, Hide, Fight. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Our protagonist is Zoe Hull, a teenage girl that struggles with the death of her mother. In fact, she thinks she can still see her around and even has whole conversations with her. This has caused her to shut down emotionally and has also put some strain on her relationship with her father Todd, who is trying his best to connect her through activities like teaching her to hunt. It is during one of these hunts that he passes on some important wisdom to her. She must always take care of unfinished business. The advice resonates with Zoe, so when her shot doesn't finish off a deer, she ends its suffering by hitting its head with a rock. After returning from their little hunting trip, Todd tells Zoe that maybe they should see a therapist again because Zoe is cutting herself off from everything she cares about. This comment angers Zoe, and they start arguing over it for what obviously isn't the first time. Luckily, they are interrupted by her best friend, Lewis Washington, who has come to pick her up in his car. On their way to the school, they exchange insults with some bullies in another car. They also notice their classmate, Chris Jellick, planning a strange device in the middle of an open field, but they think it's just a prank. At school, Lewis tries to ask Zoe to prom, but Zoe dislikes the idea. Lewis thinks Zoe is shutting down too. This irritates her the same way it happened with her dad. She leaves for the bathroom after Lewis accidentally spills a drink on her and finds Anna Jellick moving the ceiling panels. Anna leaves the bathroom in a rush, so Zoe takes the opportunity to check the panels she had moved, but finds nothing behind them. Several incendiary devices are set off around town, except for the one Kip Quaid leaves at the school's front office. Having so many fires burning at the same time means the roads are clogged and first responders, like law enforcement and firefighters, are overwhelmed. At school, a van suddenly crashes into the cafeteria, carrying two armed teenagers, the leader, Tristan Voy, and Chris Jellick. They're soon joined by Anna Jellick and Kip Quaid, who are also carrying weapons. After shooting various students, Tristan asks everyone to use their phones to tell their parents what's going on. Lewis calls his mom and leaves a message telling her he doesn't have any regrets. Meanwhile, Zoe learns what is going on thanks to a wounded girl that enters the bathroom and dies there. She escapes by crawling through the bathroom ceiling and falls into the school kitchen, where the cook is also hiding. When Chris comes back to investigate the noises, the cook tries to confront him, but he shoots her. Zoe leaves the building through the back door after he's gone. After everyone is done talking to their parents, Tristan borrows a phone and calls the school's front office to tell them about the shooting. The rules say they need to confirm the information before they can call lockdown, so Tristan asks if there's any students to live stream with their phones and tells the video hosting companies not to interrupt the streams or we will have to shoot people. As he starts giving a speech about entropy and truth, the school's principal and security guard arrive at the cafeteria to get their confirmation. The principal tries to talk Tristan down by apologizing for not listening to him before, but Chris shoots him while allowing the guard to escape. Tristan asks everyone to turn off their recordings except for the one with the most views, which happens to be Lewis and is streaming on the school's social page. He is tasked with following Tristan around and recording everything, and the hostages are ordered to barricade the hole in the van made on the wall. Outside, Zoe considers leaving but comes back when she hears voices. She stops a group of students from entering the school and warns them of what's going on. They all leave except Zoe's friend Cora, who accepts helping Zoe warn the other classes that are still inside. One of the teachers thinks they're pulling a prank and ignores them, so to have better luck with another classroom, they break a window. This time they are heard, and the whole class escapes through the window while Zoe activates the fire alarm. This proves to be useless because Anna goes into the electrical room to disable the alarm and cut off power. Right after the school's front office calls for lockdown, the homemade bomb Kip left there earlier explodes. The police finally arrive then, and Sheriff Tarsi starts closing the perimeter. The situation is finally making it to the news as well. Although they are not showing the stream, they are recording from outside. Irritated, Tristan tells the phone camera that the public wants to see him, not some reporter. Meanwhile, Zoe is searching the school to tell any remaining students to get out, but Anna finds her and starts shooting at her. Her leg is wounded before she manages to run away and hide in a room filled with balloons that allows her to sneakily jump on Anna when she follows her. The girls fight for the gun. Zoe overpowers Anna and shoots her. With Lewis still recording, Tristan goes to the Spanish classroom to take those students with him to the cafeteria. The teacher tries to reason with him. Tristan responds by making her take off her blouse. He is about to touch her inappropriately when Lewis interrupts him by saying he has some questions from the watchers, effectively taking Tristan's focus away from the teacher. He wants as much attention as possible, so he is willing to answer those questions. Tristan explains that this plan took him 14 months to make it sing, since he had to research the building blueprints, gather the weapons, etc. A police officer visits Tristan's house to talk to his parents, only to find the mother dead. Her neck had been cut open. In the meantime, Zoe's dad hears the news about the shooting on the radio and decides to drive to the school with weapons loaded in his truck. In the cafeteria, Chris is in the middle of talking to the voices in his head when he hears on the news that the cops have arrived, so he goes to the hole in the wall and shoots at them. Tristan hears gunshots and decides to return, taking the whole Spanish class with him. Zoe sees them in the hallway, and when Kip walks in the opposite direction from the group, she decides to follow him. He is trying to get into another classroom filled with students, so Zoe appears in front of him to call his attention and gets him to chase her. She takes him through a slippery floor, and after he falls, she unloads a fire extinguisher on his face and also hits him with it. Kip is dragged to the auditorium and handcuffed to a chair, and he confesses to Zoe that he is doing all this because of a bullying incident in middle school that, in his eyes, had never ended. Zoe thinks he is disgusting and pathetic for using that as an excuse for cold-blooded murder. After taking a shotgun, Zoe comes across another group of students with their teacher. Wanting to help them escape, she borrows a phone and calls Cora, who hands her phone to the sheriff so they can coordinate a plan. Sheriff Tarsi tells the reporters to record him instead of the school before calling Tristan's phone. He distracts him with conversation while Zoe safely guides as many groups of students as possible to the exit. However, her rescue plan appears on the news, which allows Tristan to discover the ruse. So he hangs up on Tarsi and proceeds to call his teammates. Zoe has Anna's phone, so she answers his call. Tristan tells her to show herself or he will start shooting people. He even kills a student as proof. After telling him she will be there, Zoe returns to the auditorium and frees Kip, who is feeling guilty for what he has done and wants to die now. Zoe tells him he should be in charge of his legacy and convinces him to cooperate, so she hands him back the shotgun. While Todd sneaks into the school grounds and gets his weapon ready to help his daughter, Zoe makes it to the cafeteria and Tristan starts asking her questions for the stream. A furious Chris wants to kill her because she shot his sister, but Tristan won't allow it. He believes everything must happen at the right moment. They are suddenly interrupted by Kip, who after an exchange of insults with Chris and Tristan, shoots his shotgun, only managing to hit Tristan on the shoulder before Chris kills him. Lewis gets hurt in the exchange. Zoe and Lewis take advantage of the distraction to escape. Chris goes after them. They hide in the Spanish room, and while Zoe checks on Lewis's wounds, they confess their feelings for each other. Lewis also informs her of some explosives hidden in the van, so Zoe leaves the classroom to check on it, allowing Chris to find her and chase her again. Zoe enters the science classroom this time and opens all the burners, starting a fire when Chris tries to come closer. Her attempt at escaping does not work, however, because Chris still manages to catch her. He smashes her head against the glass cabinet, then punches her a couple of times before throwing her to the ground. When he is about to kill her, Todd shoots from a spot outside and kills him instead. The police approach him as soon as they hear the gunshot, and Zoe can do nothing but watch through the window how they arrest and take her father away. Afterward, Zoe grabs Chris's gun and makes her way back to the cafeteria, only pausing to retrieve Lewis's phone when she finds it on the floor in a hallway. She sends Tristan a picture of Chris's body, causing him not to talk to her anymore. So instead she hijacks the stream and tells Tristan the world will remember her, not him, which enrages him. Tristan grabs one of the explosives from the van and gives it to a student that he drags out of the cafeteria with him. Zoe sees them leave, so she takes the chance to go in and tell all the hostages to run now that Tristan is gone. There is still the little issue of the bomb in the van, which Zoe solves by putting the shift in reverse and jamming the gas pedal with Chris's rifle. This causes the van to move outside and explode in the parking lot. SWAT uses this opportunity to enter the building, and they mistakenly arrest Zoe while she's trying to find Tristan. An explosion coming from the next room reveals Tristan's body, and while the SWAT take care of it, Zoe sees her mother, who tells her that she loves her and wishes her goodbye before disappearing for good as Zoe cries her heart out. Outside the school, Sheriff Tarsi frees Zoe, shaking her hand, apologizing for the incorrect arrest, and praising her actions. Zoe responds by asking him to allow her to see her father. Todd is inside a police car, handcuffed, but he still has a heartfelt talk with his daughter. They repair their relationship and reassure each other of how important they are in their lives. After making sure Lewis is fine, Zoe notices Tristan sneaking out of the school. He had faked his death by changing his clothes with the other student, so cops would initially think the burned body was his. She recovers Todd's rifle and follows Tristan into the woods, where he is getting some money and a passport out of a box he has hidden under a bridge as part of the plan. Zoe does not hesitate to shoot him from afar, then comes closer. Noticing the shot was not enough to kill him, she mentioned the advice on unfinished business her dad had given her while hunting and picks up a big rock to finish Tristan off. Yet when she brings it down, she does not hit his head. She drops the rock in the river instead. Zoe decides to leave him there to die because, unlike an animal, suffering is what he deserves. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.